Chapter 23 to 24. Let's go! Commander Hang yells as they all jump out of the flying boat. Hang, Armin, Jean, and Connie are charging toward the rumbling. Their actions are spotted by other people. Are those 3D maneuver gear? No way. It's the enemy forces from Parody Island, and they've come to stop the rumbling. Muller says, "We can't just sit there and watch all of you engage them with our cannons. We don't have time and fuel to load the weapons onto the airship. We have to do something. Mom, Dad." Just then, Reiner, Gabby, Falco, Colt, and Peek all rush to their families. All of them are surprised to see them rushing toward them, and they all hug one another. Annie asks, "How did all of you get here?" "All the way from the internment zone. Mr. Leonhardt led us all here." This causes Annie to be surprised. He's leading some people to the base over there, wanting to help. Annie nods as she rushes toward her father. Reiner says, "Mother, none of us are Titans anymore. When the rumbling began, our powers were taken." "Are you sure? I'm so glad." Karina suddenly hugs Reiner, much to his shock.
"I'm sorry, Reiner.
I just need you by my side." Reiner is having tears in his eyes as he hugs his mother. At the same time, the forces of Marley prepare their cannons and they yell, "We can't give up either. Even if it's just a cannonball or two, it's still better than nothing." But as Mr. Leonhardt brings some people to help, the soldiers notice that they used to have armbands. "You're Eldians, aren't you?" Before the refugees can shoot them, Leonhardt yells, "Wait, hold on." He raises his hand and says, "We're just here to ask for help with our wounded. We're in no situation to do that. What are you really here for?" "Mr. Leonhardt, now do you understand? Marley soldiers aren't going to help us. Looks like we outnumber them. We have more experience in battle too. We've been to the front lines time and time again. For the sake of you Marleyans after all, put down your guns, Eldians." The soldiers are still trying to shoot at them. "Stop what you're doing." Muller arrives and he yells at the soldiers. "The world is about to end, and you'll still fight with each other? Maybe we ought to be trampled by the rumbling, because that's basically the reason why it comes to us. Because of your constant fighting." The soldiers flinch and they also hear a voice. "Father!" Leonhardt gasps as the one calling to her are Annie, who rushes and hugs her father. "Did they hurt you, father?" "Annie? But what are you doing here?" Leonhardt asks. "I've come to help stop the rumbling." Annie says, "I don't have the power of the female Titan, but there are still friends from Parody Island who is willing to help us stop the rumbling, and we'll be going." Then Annie leaves to meet up with the others, and at the same time, Reiner and the others also bid farewell to their parents and they all charge towards the rumbling. On Onyankapon's flying boat, Levi is lying on the seats as he thinks, "Even if I manage to find Zeke, I'd just be a burden in this state. Damn it, I've never bungled one of his orders. Not even once. And yet, for some reason, his final order is the one that I just can't. Could it be that we finished our mission way back then, when we got those brats to the sea? Did the part we had to play end here? Tell me, when you dedicated your hearts, was it to trample on the hearts of others?" Then he shakes his head and mutters, "No, the dream you all had of a world without Titans. That was an exhaustingly idealistic world. It had to be, if it was going to be worth what you dedicated. The prince you all paid. Erwin, I didn't choose you, and I have no regrets about that, because I entrusted the future to that kid who had the same look in his eyes as all of you. The same eyes who seek freedom. Hang, Armin, Jean, and Connie have been killing the napes of the colossal Titans, but the steam has been damaging them a lot." Armin says, "Damn it, all of them are just like Bertolt. But you have to admit, Titans truly are magnificent." "Hang!" Jean and Connie yell in horror as Hang continues to kill the colossal Titans until her body becomes fully burnt and falls to the ground. "Hang!" Everyone yells as Hang's body is trampled and turned into ashes. When Hang wakes up, she finds all the Survey Corps members waiting for her. "Hang!" Erwin reaches his hand to her. "You did your duty." Hang stares at them before sighing, "Ugh, I swear. Do you know how much I went through after you appointed me commander? The things that idiot Eren got up to. Yeah, it must have been difficult. You'll have to tell us about it." Jean, Connie, and Armin grit their teeth. They know that it is an unwinnable battle, but they all let out a roar as they continue to fight. Reiner, Peek, Gabby, Falco, Colt, and Annie are about to catch up to the other three. Reiner says, "Annie, I always wanted to apologize to you and Bertolt. That day, it all began that day when I forced you to go ahead with the operation. If we turned around then, you and Bertolt might have been able to go home to your families. It's brazen of me to even apologize. Yeah, I can't count the times I felt like just killing you." Annie says, "I admire your self-control, but we have better things to do now." Reiner says, Then they join Jean, Connie, and Armin to fight the Titans, but after they kill a few of them, their Thunder Spears is going to use up. And at the same time, Peak is hit by the steam as she's sent flying. Peak! Reiner yells, but Reiner is also being slapped by the hand of the colossal titan. But Jean manages to grab Reiner's hand. Sorry, I think my vertical maneuvering equipment is broken. Reiner says, me too, my right grip. The steam burned through it. I can't pull us up. Jean, let go of me. That way you'll be able to keep alive. Reiner says, then what? Get crushed by the rumbling? For someone named the Armored Titan, you really do get broken to pieces way too often. You think we can still win this? Reiner asks. No, but at least we ought to struggle until they manage to kill us, right? The Survey Corps just doesn't know when to give up, and that's who we are. At the same time, Falco is hit by the colossal titan, and both Gabby and Colt grab each of the hands. Gabby, Colt, Falco says, I wanted you to let me go back when I boarded the enemy ship, but you didn't let me go. So this time, I'm going to repay you for that. Gabby says, if we can't survive, then we might as well die together. Colt says, Falco remembers his promise to Reiner, to save Gabby from the dark future, and closes his eyes. Sorry, but I'm not hesitating anymore. Falco suddenly charges forward with the odium gear, and Colt yell, Falco! Everyone gasps as they see Falco using the blades to kill more titans, until his body starts to burn up like hang. Falco! Gabby yells as Falco is closing his eyes, falling to his doom. Colt speeds up and reaches Falco, hugging him. Colt, it's okay, your brother is here. At least we will die together. Then, as both of them fall to the ground, they are also trampled and killed. Damn it! How dare you! Gabby tries to use the rifle and shoots at some colossal titans, killing them, but eventually the bullets are used up, and there are still some more who are approaching. Gabby! Peak manages to catch Gabby, and says, you used too much fuel. At this point, you'll fall like Falco and Colt as well. But, Gabby mutters. Colt and Falco are killed. On the other side, Jean and Connie eventually used up their weapons and the fuel of the ODM gear. Connie asks, is this how we're going to die? Yeah. At least we die in the Scouts' way. Jean says, do you remember, Jean? During our graduation. Connie asks, yeah. Jean says, we ended up saving the world. Because of you. Then the two of them also fall to their doom. Jean, Connie, Armin yells, as two more of their members are gone. Peak, Annie, Gabby, and Reiner are still not trying to give up. But in the end, all of them lose their hope. Annie says, is this the end for us? If only we have Titans with us. We might be able to have our advantage. Without our Titans, we are nothing. Peak frowns.
I'm sorry.
Reiner says, if only we never broke the wall. Then the four of them are also killed by the rumbling as well, leaving Armin the only one left. Armin manages to escape from the other side of the rumbling. The amount of colossal titans is only 30% compared to the time Onyankopon dropped them off. Why does it have to be this way? Armin mutters in horror. And at the same time, the remaining humanity widens its eyes with horror. No, it can't be. Reiner's mother kneels to the ground with tears, and they're joined by Gabi's parents. Everyone realizes that this is an unwinnable battle, and as the rumbling continues to move forward, all of them decide to say their farewells and wait for their doom to come. The rumbling is complete. Armin feels hopeless as he sits on the ground. He yells, so there was nothing we could do. Is this all it ends for us? Jean, Connie, Reiner, Annie. All of them are dead. Parody and Hizuru have become the last humanity. With humanity disappearing, the colossal titans all turn into dust and disappear, in the same way as Pixis and the other mindless titans. Armin finds that his body can't move, and he realizes that his soul is leaving his body. Why won't my body move? Please, you have to move. Wake up, you piece of trash. You pitiful coward. You're useless. I hate you. I always have. You've never done anything but betray me. The life I was given. The expectations. The responsibilities. Everything. All of it. You keep letting everyone down. How dare you? How dare you die like this? Move. I say move. Just then, he realizes sand is in his hand, and he mutters, Sand, think, if I really was dead, how would I be able to think with no oxygen coming to my brain? This isn't a dream. It's not a vision. It's not even the afterlife. It's the paths. This is real. Just then, he looks around and stands up. He asks, but how? Eren changed my blood, so I wouldn't be an Eldian again. And in front of them, a younger Eren and Mikasa are standing in front of him, and both of them are having sad faces. So the time has finally come, Eren says with a frown. How I wish things aren't turning to be like this. Eren, all the people out there are dead. The rumbling also killed Jean, Connie, Hang, and the rest of the humans. You got your wish. Isn't that enough? Eren says nothing before muttering, Armin, please come with us. Let's spend some time together. One last time before your soul reaches the afterlife. We can spend as much time as we like here. We can see whatever we like. We could even explore the world, like we always used to talk about back when we were just children, blissfully ignorant of the truth beyond the walls.
Eren.
Mikasa. Armin frowns. So I'm dead like the others. Then both Eren and Mikasa grab Armin's hands as they all rush towards the tree. When they arrive there, Eren says, the attack titan. It has the power to seek into the future. I told you about that before, right? But did you seriously need to take it to such an extreme? We were looking so hard for other options. You didn't need to take it this far. It shouldn't ever be taken this far. What other choice do we have? We've tried diplomacy with Gloria Tiber by our side, but all of them failed, and the result was the speech Willie Tiber gave in Liberio. And I knew for sure that Zachary, Pixis, Nile, and the other garrison and military police members were trying to have me devoured by their own titan for their own greed. I assumed that Commander Hang also played a part in it. That's why I can't trust you, who joined their side as high-ranking members. But what about the other lives that the colossal titan slaughtered? They're no different from how we were that day. I know that, Eren says, and Mikasa also frowns. Era, just like us, everything will be taken away from them all at once. No one would have thought it was the day the Titans would come to attack. They might not be ignorant of the world like we are, but the entire outside world isn't made up solely of people who want us dead. The same as there's going to be sinners. There are going to be people who deserve to live too. On the island, beyond the ocean, we're the same. Every group of people is always going to be a mix of all kinds of imperfectly flawed beings. There are people like Nicolo, Onyankopon, Falco. All the innocent children of the world. Why should they have to suffer for the sins of their parents? I understand what you're saying, and you're not wrong. Plenty of people out there deserve to live, Eren says. And that's why it is really regretful that they have to be mixed in with everyone else out there. 4 years ago, when I have the power of the rumbling, I did use Zeke's plan to make Eldians unable to breed outside the walls. And Hizuru has been helping us save as many innocents as we can. I'm also willing to become the devil, and cast aside any semblance of redeemability I still had and stain my hands with the blood of all these blameless lives, to protect our home. Eren, did you forget? It is not just you, Historia, Sasha, Flock, and us, we all share the same sins with you. You don't need to blame yourself for it. Mikasa says while turning to Armin. But we care about our people, and we have to secure the right to live in this world and truly be free. The world is cruel, but also beautiful. Humanity has been the reason why it is cruel. If we lose, we die. If we win, we live. If we don't fight, we can't win. Eren says, and I was being selfish. If the world wants to take my freedom, I'll do whatever I can to take theirs first. Hizuru is the only nation that stands by Eldia's side, so I won't take theirs. All we have to do is make a choice. We can't always think that what we want will finally happen. I can't say you're entirely wrong either, Armin says. I see where you're coming from. We tried for years and couldn't come up with a solution, and you, as the king of the walls, risked your life trying to negotiate peace but failed. You waited for 4 years before unleashing the rumbling. Deep down inside, you were trying to find other options to avoid the rumbling, right? I did, and I also tried to warn them if they attack then we'll unleash the rumbling. But none of them listens. They underestimated what the rumbling is, and this is the result. Eren says, we also tried to tell them how the first king wiped their memories, and instead, they used me as an excuse to declare war on our island. I was born into the world, and I'm not going to make myself an enemy of the whole world. That's why I gathered the Ygrists along with the queen. As for the environmental damage, the founding titan also has the power to cultivate lands. I'm sure it will all return to normal for a few years later. Armin frowns and says, that dream of ours of what could be beyond that walls, that dream, it became a curse to you, didn't it? It must have been painful for you all this time, but I can't spare any sympathy for you, not after what you chose to do with this curse of yours. I know, Eren says while helping Mikasa get up. Let's go. Where are you going? Armin asks. To see what we always dreamed of. Past the walls. Let's finally go and discover it all. Eren says. After they arrive at the volcano and lava, all three of them are gasping in surprise. Mikasa says, so this is the flaming water. It really is flowing like a river. Eren says. Then they all go to the tundra, watching the snow and the aurora in the sky. Then they also see the desert with so much sand that stretches out forever. Eren says, the colossal titans were supposed to destroy all of them, but just after they leave the place, the power of the nine together will also return that environment back to normal. What you see right now is real. The only difference is that there's no life around here. Mikasa says, no, life is growing. Eren says as they see some small animals coming out from the trees and popping from the ground. Plants are also growing. Eren says, With Sasha being the Beast Titan, the animals are able to avoid the rumbling, so our people who want to form a nation here will still be able to have meat to eat. We might save some people from the rumbling, but eventually the population is going to be massive. So in the end, we've decided to expand our territory outside. We're giving the people their own choice to form new nations and negotiate for peace. We won't be the same as the old King Fritz, using the Titans to bring terror to the world. I see, Armin says with a slight frown. Then they realize that they are now back to their 19-year-old selves, and Armin notices Mikasa's belly is a little bigger than normal. He asks, Mikasa, are you? Mikasa is pregnant, Eren says. She's also having my child. Ever since the fight with Rod Rice Titan, I have been dreading it for a while. I always think of Mikasa as my big sister, and when Historia drops her fake Krista personality, I was also attracted to her. But I couldn't choose any of them. When I kissed Historia's hand that day, I've seen all kinds of futures, some of which resulted in my death, and the one who killed me is Mikasa. As for others, it resulted in your deaths. Ymir doesn't want my death. That's why she gives me the full control of the founder. She also wants to be my daughter, and I know Historia will want to name our daughter Ymir as well. That's why I married her first. Eren closes his eyes and says, but deep down inside, the way Mikasa cares for me, I still can't forget. So I talked to Historia for a while, and we've also decided to make her the second queen. Eren waves his hand and shows all kinds of future in the air. Armin says, are those? These are the futures that I've seen. Let's say that there are multiple worlds out there. In one world, you all destroy the colossal titans and save the rest of humanity, but the result is the destruction of Paradis Island and Hizuru. Eren says while pointing at one, which Eren was crying over the dead bodies of Mikasa, Historia, Ymir, and a lot of people. And this is the one that I didn't take away your titan powers. Eren points at another one with the giant skeleton titan. Ymir decides to be the one who controls the rumbling and takes my powers away. Ymir is going to be my daughter, so I won't let it happen. Then he points at the large one. And this is the original one. Back at the restaurant, I decided to be mean to Mikasa, so she'll be the one who kills me in the end. I also followed the rumbling as that giant titan wanting you to be the heroes, but in the end, it was the same result as the former ones, Paradis Island being destroyed. Eren says, I know I can't save everyone that I care about the most, so I decide to prioritize Mikasa, Historia, my daughter Ymir, and Mikasa's unborn child. I'm sorry, Armin. I will need to sacrifice you because no amount of talking is going to change your mind.
Eren.
Armin frowns. I understand, but of all the deaths, at least Captain Levi is still alive. Anyankapan is bringing him back to Paradis Island. We know. Our new Eldia Council has decided that we'll leave Zeke's death to him. Despite him being my brother, I still can't forget how many people he has turned into Titan and how many people he's killed. Eren says, with his wounds and with my power of the Attack Titan, Captain Levi won't be able to kick and punch me like he used to. But I doubt he would want to join the military again. Then Armin feels that he is being lighter, and Eren says, I guess it is time for you to go. Armin, you're free from this cruel world. Armin sighs as he knows the time has come. Jean, Connie, Marco, Annie, and the others are waiting for him.
Eren, Mikasa.
I don't know what will happen, but please, lead the remaining humans into a life of peace. We promise. Both of them then salute Armin before Armin's soul finally leaves. Back at Paradis Island, Eren and Mikasa hug each other, tears coming out of their eyes as a new beginning arrives.